But also this week, they had the WNBA All-Star game, and they were wearing T-shirts. The women that said, pay us what we're worth.
Yeah.
Pay us. And I was thinking there's two groups of people who don't want to be paid what they're worth. Stand-up comedians and WNBA players. Never want to be paid what you're worth, ever. So those two groups, you'll be here.
It's America's stupidest podcast. Think NPR for dummies. This is the McGonigal Podcast. Over to you, dummy.
Another episode of the McGonigal Podcast. We're back. Nobody asked us to come back, but we're back. NPR for dummies. Meet the press for stupid people. We're back. We're back again. Another dumb episode. I know nobody missed this, but we came back anyway. Great to be here. Listen, I just want to remind you up front, if you like this at all, like, subscribe, share, spread the stupidity. That's what we're trying to do here. Spread the stupidity to as many people as possible. Going to have a great episode tonight, folks. We got a sheet full of dumb topics. Got some great guests here tonight. Let me introduce the panel. Two great comedians here tonight. On my left, Chris Dolan is here. Chris, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great being back.
And making his debut on the Stupid Podcast. He might be sorry by the end of the episode. Another great comic. Michael Lancer is here. Mike, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys coming, and we'll see if we can just how stupid we can be for an hour. I don't know. Cancel's not here, so that hurts the stupidity factor. Unfortunately, that brings the IQ up, which is the opposite of what we're trying to do. But we'll try to muscle through it anyway. We're trying to get through it. So this week in America, we got inundated with dead celebrities this week, right? It was bad. Ozzy died, and Hulk Hogan, and Theo from the Cosby Show. And then for old guys like me, Chuck Mangione died, for Christ's sakes. I didn't know anybody remembered Chuck Mangione except me. Chuck Mangione died. But I was thinking, if we're going to be mourning people like Ozzy and Hulk, what's going to happen if somebody actually important dies? What the hell are we going to do? If we're mourning these people, I mean, somebody important to them, what the hell are we going to do? The country almost shut down when Ozzy died. Something died. What do you think? How much trouble are we going to be in if somebody important dies? I mean, Ozzy and Hulk?
I'm at a loss. I mean, all this grieving all week long has really really shook me.
Most of the people grieving couldn't name two Black Sabbath songs.
Or they could name the big two.
Gun to their head, they asked her to name two Black Sabbath songs. They couldn't do it. I promise you, they couldn't do it. But I mean, were you upset about Ozzy and Hulk or Theo and any of them?
Yeah, I mean, as a Gen Xer growing up, you have Ozzy Osbourne, and I had some family members who were very religious. So the whole thing with Ozzy when he first started his career, the Blizzard of Oz album cover when he's has the crucifix in his hand and all this stuff and the Satanism. And so, I had this thing in me because of these certain family members that, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to hell if I listen to Ozzy.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. We're all rock and roll.
Then go to church with these family members listening to Chuck Mangione on, the soft rock station, which is now called Yacht Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
But then everyone learns to love Ozzy, right? Even he was at the Bush dinner years ago, and George Bush made some comments about that, right? When Ozzy Osbourne was there and he stood up on the table and everybody applauded,
Well, here's the thing, man. I'm 59. You guys are younger than me, I guess.
I'm older.
Okay, but when we were younger, our parents, they were disgusted by this rock and roll because they had grown up, they remember World War II and the Korean War. So this whole rock and roll thing, they were like, what is this garbage? Now it's not like that. Because people grew up with, now people don't look down on young people and say, what are you listening to that for? Because we went through this bad stuff. It isn't quite, but like Mike said about the religious stuff, people were furious. Like the Rolling Stones had that song, Sympathy for the Devil. Yeah. And people were furious. You weren't allowed to, I remember in my neighborhood, you weren't allowed to own that album. And it was a different time when rock, they really looked down on rock and roll. Now it's become mainstream and everybody loves it. Like Mike said, Ozzy became a beloved figure. So it's not like that anymore. But people really look down on that stuff at one time.
Yeah, they did. I mean, there's a lot more tolerance now for all different genres of music, I think.
Even K-pop.
Yes, yeah. Like,
but people used to talk about the Beatles, these long-haired hippies. You look at the Beatles now; they look like the most harmless thing you've ever seen. They literally look like nothing. The Beatles, and people at the time were screaming about them. They're going to ruin our youth.
Yeah,
and it's like, what? Paul McGonigal looks like almost a priest at this point. So it's amazing.
Wholesale rejection of rock and roll values, I think, back then.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just people. Even Elvis, people thought Elvis had his problems, but people were furious about it. But that's not the way it is anymore. I was thinking about that. It's funny you said that because I was thinking about that. It's not that.
I was never a big Ozzy fan.
No, I wasn't. I respected the fact he was a legend. He absolute icon. But yeah, I didn't biggest fit there. I never liked his vocals that much. Those guys rock. Black Sabbath did rock, but Ozzy's vocals, they never killed me.
Well, didn't the dead Quiet Riot guy like kind of sink his career by saying Ozzy sounded like a frog?
Well, if you remember when they
getting back on the bar circuit,
when they replaced Ozzy with Ronnie James Dio, a whole lot of people liked Ronnie James Dio better. And there was a big divide. Whose side are you on, Ozzy or Dio? Mm-hmm. Now people don't even talk about Dio. They sort of forgotten about. But that went on. There were people who were on Team Dio. They were not on Team Ozzy. Yeah. And now everybody actually on Team Ozzy all the time.
Apropos of nothing, my late father-in-law was a growing up friend of Ronnie Dio.
Wow.
Yeah, Ronnie Padavon. They grew up together in Cortland, New York.
Oh, so Dio was from America. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, Dio is Central New York, like Silver Lakes region.
Yeah, but there were people who were Team Dio. They didn't want that. Everybody acts like now they loved Ozzy, but it wasn't like that.
Now, Chris, at that time, was he like the lounge singer before becoming the rock star?
No, they were just kind of like, garage band kids, playing in local bands and things like that. And my wife has a photo of her dad back in the day in high school being crowned like, I don't know, it was like homecoming king or something like that. And Ronnie was putting the crown.
Did he have like a stool behind it?
Yeah, they called him Pygmy.
Oh
when you were allowed to nickname people, insensitive things like that.
This is your father-in-law?
He passed away last year.
But then Dio's been dead a while now. Right?
Yeah, like 2013 perhaps.
Right, yeah. But that definitely wasn't his oldest whole love for Ozzy, and people try to forget that happened. That didn't happen. And then of course Theo died this week.
Yeah.
When they first found him, they thought, he just had a drink with Bill Cosby when they first found him. He was having concert, but it turned out, no, he was drowning. That's why they didn't try to revive him right away. All right, he was having late night cocktails with Dr. Huxtable. He'll be fine. They got to see me off faster. He would have revived him.
I mean, he's been, I don't know what, I guess he's been active in how he was in a kind of Costa Rican vacation.
Well,
right?
I had read that the rest of the cast of the Cosby Show was kind of pissed because when Bill Cosby had a scandal, a lot of the TV stations and things around the country yanked it off the Cosby Show, so they weren't making the residuals like because they weren't rerunning it like they were. So a lot of the people in the Cosby Show were pissed off about it. I don't know if that got resolved or not, but I guess that would happen. I guess there was a lot of loss of money. I hadn't thought of that about the cast. Yeah. That makes sense. I was reading that the other day.
It's a big family, too. I imagine some needed the money more than others.
Oh, yeah, because you usually, lots of times when you're in a sitcom and it's over, some of those people never work again. They go to those...
Rudy's like, where's my money?
Exactly.
He was the one fat white kid, right?
No, Rudy was the youngest daughter.
Rudy. Oh, yeah.
And then they had who was Raven Simone? Was she like?
She was the
Lisa Bonet's daughter or something.
Like
and then she got her on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Did she have a big show on Disney or some damn thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't thought about the money part of it. But I guess that made sense. But
really.
Who would have bet? You would have lost money if you would have bet that Bill Cosby would outlive Theo.
I know.
Nobody would have thought that. But he did. He did. He outlived. And Chuck Mangione dying. It was always funny that song was called "Feel So Good." Yeah. Because when you heard it, you felt pretty bad.
Yeah.
You feel so sweet. Which ties in with our Bill Cosby show.
Maybe that was his makeout playlist.
Yeah, it's good of it. I'm so tired, but we were like the Bill Cosby's playlist thing. But yeah, well, the dead celebrity, we wish him well. We wish him well. Just saying, God knows who's going to die next. We just started. Well, we had a guest on here who wanted to run a death pool between me, Cancel, and the legendary Wig. He wanted to have a death pool, which actually, well, the thing is, I'm going to die first. I can guarantee I can through it. And Cancel will probably outlast everybody. He'll be just sneaking around.
Possibly.
Slipping between the cracks.
Yeah.
And Whit'll be dead in good 2 or 3 months before anybody notices.
Yeah.
Before anybody notices he's dead. So I don't know.
Piled up among it'll just fall among the props.
So
but I love Whit.
If that death pool does start, bet me to die first. I can almost.
What makes you so certain?
I just when you look at the two of them, they just have that kind of luck that they're not going to die.
Yeah.
That's one way. They're just going to be hanging around.
Maybe they took CPR lessons so they could save each other. They're always hanging.
They'll just be hanging around.
Deadpool points are only 24 for Ozzy and 29 for Hulk Hogan. So
Yeah.
There were people who were taking Ozzy and Deadpool's back in the 90s. They were thinking he wasn't going to make. So you lost a lot of money if you did that. If you took Ozzy back then, there were people, Ozzy and Keith Richards. They said, "Oh, these guys, Willie Nelson," and they all beat the Willie Nelson. He's still.
My gosh.
People took him in Deadpool years ago. And he's still rolling. Who knows? Did you guys see this week that Chuck E. Cheese got arrested?
No.
They arrested a guy in a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant. He was in a Chuck E. Cheese outfit. He was wanted for credit card fraud. And they didn't let him go in the bag, and they went right in front of all the families and arrested him while he was still wearing a mascot. There were pictures of them. They were leaving out the handcuffs with the kids sitting there looking. Chuck E. Cheese arrested for credit card fraud.
$11.50 in purchases at the cotton candy machine.
God knows what he was doing, but I thought that was great. I mean, they're leading this guy out.
Apparently, he's probably not making the money since the band broke up. They used to have a band, and now it's just like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, wasn't it bears or some kind of animatronic bear?
Yeah, there was like a whole band, I think, and then they sort of did a rebrand, and now it's just like a hipper Chuck E. Cheese that steals credit card information.
There's a picture of Chuck E. Cheese being let out by the cops in the Chuck E. Cheese.
Look at the cops.
A face on him.
Yeah, you got to take him. Here's the cop. He's hoping to get a raise or promotion. He ain't getting on this way.
I loved you at my 6-year-old party.
Yeah. They'll never put me in a narcotic squad with this confirmation. This ain't going to get my promotion, y'all.
I'm surprised they didn't arrest him for the food.
Well, you think if somebody will get arrested at a Chuck E. Cheese, it would be some angry deadbeat dad, who was drunk and cursing you or something to argue with his ex-wife. Instead, it's poor Chuck E. Cheese getting arrested.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. The Chuck E. Cheese.
What if that is like a hot child custody drop-off thing? Like,
I guarantee people in Chuck E. Cheese parking lot is probably where you drop kids off and waiting for the weekend dad to pick them up. I can almost guarantee that's probably a spot for that. Yeah. Oh, I would think.
It's a time theater.
Chuck E. Cheese, but that's amazing. You would think when I first heard he was arrested, I thought, oh no, maybe he's touching kids or something.
Yeah, right.
No.
It's something a little more tame.
Yeah, not even credit card fraud.
Yeah. That probably was a big sigh of relief.
Oh, I guarantee it. Really happy it wasn't that, because it certainly.
Don't worry, it's just credit card.
Yeah, right.
He's just a deadbeat. He's not touching anything.
Yeah, that's right.
He keeps his hands to himself.
Yeah, no cameras in the bathroom. Yeah.
How would you ever, when they let him into the cell with some of the drug dealers or stuff, and he's coming in that Chuck E. Cheese outfit? You think he must have been treated great when they had him in a holding cell, that Chuck E. Cheese outfit. Some gangbangers, and there's Chuck E. Cheese. What are you in for?
You have the right to remain silent.
I know what, you could keep the shoes.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Chuck E. Cheese got arrested. Oh my God! I guess it was a matter of time.
Yeah.
So did you guys read? Speaking of characters, did you read about Elmo this week? What happened to Elmo?
No.
There's an official Twitter account.
Oh, maybe
Elmo.
yeah.
Somebody hacked into it and started putting out tweets as Elmo, and of course it was, how do I put this? Everything was anti-Semitic. It was all the Jews did this and the Jews did that. That was the whole the tweets they were putting out. It was that Elmo was anti-Semitic. That was all the tweets.
They made me work on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Free Palestine and Snuffleupagus.
Exactly. It was something, you know, about it. We were doing anti-Muslim stuff, and it was just, somebody had in Elmo, and they did that. To me, that seemed more like an Oscar the Grouch. I would think if anybody was anti-Semitic, you would probably be Oscar the Grouch more than Elmo, but I guess it could have been Elmo.
Who do you like for this credit?
But it's amazing what people can do. Who's sitting in their house thinking they want to hack something, and they don't hack anything important. They think, let's hack Elmo's account.
Yeah, right.
You can hack in and maybe steal money or do something. Hacking Elmo. This is why this technology is just way out of control.
Why Elmo doesn't have like 2-factor authentication or something. Elmo needs to up his security.
But imagine, if Elmo really was like that, he was like a Netanyahu supporter.
The secret life of Elmo.
Alien.
Yeah.
I mean, it just. It was a rough week for kids.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese getting arrested.
I hear Sesame Street is pretty politically charged.
Elmo being anti-Semitic. Jesus Christ. Poor Elmo. I guess it could have been worse, but maybe not.
Just him saying that stuff in that high pitch. Like,
that would be a little. Jon Stewart did a whole thing on the Daily Show where he had the Elmo puppet and everything.
oh, really? Oh, my
It was
God.
really funny. You can find it on YouTube.
I'll take a look.
It was really fun. But also this week, they had the WNBA All-Star Game, and they were wearing T-shirts. The women that said, pay us what we're worth.
Yeah.
Pay us. And I was thinking there's two groups of people who don't want to be paid what they're worth. Stand-up comedians and WNBA players. Never want to be paid what you're worth. Ever. So those two groups, you'll be those two never want to. You'll be working. You'll be working for minimum wage the rest of your life. If you're a comedian and WNBA will pay what you're worth. And how much are any of them worth that will pay us what you're worth? That's the last thing you want. I remember McDonald's workers did this a couple of years ago. We want to raise what we're worth.
Yeah.
No, I've been at McDonald's. You don't want to be paid what you're worth. You don't know. But I mean, when you want to give the WNBA players a raise,
I mean, I'm not a pro basketball fan, period. It'd be kind of wild if Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson and them were all getting paid in drink tickets. like stand-up comics.
Yeah, exactly. And they had to do bringer shows, and they had to bring.
Yes, exactly.
The only play could bring 20 people.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
Yeah, you bring 20 people, you start.
That would be hilarious. And actually, I'm not sure. In comedy and the WNBA, there's a good chance of a white person getting beat up outside. There's a good chance of both of those things for that to actually happen. But pay us what they're still being subsidized by the NBA. I mean,
yes,
they don't make it. They don't generate any money. I mean, they're starting to. I guess now they're with Caitlin Clark, they're starting to sell out, get some high TV ratings, but they still got a way to go.
Yeah, there's only like a fraction of the WNBA players who get big endorsement deals.
Yeah, exactly.
The Brianna Stewarts, the Caitlin Clarks, the Asia Wilsons, the Asia Reeses, those guys can make it with endorsement money because the salaries are like $80,000 to $100,000, I think.
I'm not even sure. What it is. I'm surprised it's that much.
Yeah, it's a low single-digit percentage comparative to,
of course,
compared to what
I'm surprised they're making that much because again, the whole league is being subsidized.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they made them, and that's so funny.
To be devil's advocate, I think they're probably seeing that the crowds are getting bigger. They're pulling in, more people and want a cut of that revenue.
Well, if comedians ever tried that, wearing T-shirts, it'd be your last gig. You wouldn't be getting called again. They would lose your phone number.
Fans would want tomatoes back.
Yeah, that's right. You get $100 to feature, even at like the best club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're never going to get paid with your. Well, actually, that's just, the sad thing is comedians are getting paid with their work. That's the sad part. They're completely getting paid with their work. I don't know about WNBA players. I can't speak to them, but the comedians are probably overpaid. At least that's why I always keep my mouth shut. You give me this
1% of the 1% are selling out the arenas.
You give me this much, okay? I won't say anything. I'll just go on quietly. I promise I won't say anything. But I made this point before. The WNBA is coming to Philly. Are people going to want to go down there for a women's basketball game? Pay those parking and concessions. It's one thing when it's an Eagles or Phillies game, but doing it for a women's basketball, I don't know if I'd want to go down and pay that kind of money. No,
I think there's an audience for it. I mean, I'm not it, but
I guess it's starting to grow, but I mean, if it's not Caitlin Clark, if it's just two teams who are playing each other, I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot of money. It's an expensive night out.
yeah,
I don't know.
because I don't know what expansion's like in the WNBA. Like if the new teams, kind of stink, and
Yeah, well,
for a while,
there's some bad teams, just like in every league. There's some bad teams. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, the NHL, they have an expansion team, and they make the playoffs that year.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I mean, there's teams in baseball like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I have no idea why anybody is out to those games. I mean, why would you? The ownership doesn't care. I don't know why you would bother.
I watched a lot of Phillies games when the Phillies.
Oh, really?
Like during the the waning days of the vet.
Oh, that was.
But it was more affordable then, and you would go to see somebody good on the other team.
Yeah, that was brutal. The 90s were brutal.
Yeah.
90s and early 2000s.
So Brony era.
Brutal. The Phillies were putting
Jeffrey.
They were putting no money into the team at all. That was. I mean, they had guys on the radio saying boycott the Phillies.
Yeah.
It was just brutal. So I don't know, but the WNBA was probably more entertaining. But it's funny. I mentioned the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did you see the big attraction they had recently? The Pittsburgh Pirates game. They had a Mac Miller bobblehead night.
Oh, okay.
You know who Mac Miller is?
Yeah, dead rapper.
He's the rapper who overdosed a few years ago. Now, that's who you're going to have a bobblehead for? Yeah. A rapper who overdosed? I mean, one of the great players in Pirates history. How about you, Dave Parker or Willie Stargell? A dead rapper is who you're having a bobblehead? Would you want to have that around your house sitting on the coffee table? Oh, it's a dead rapper right there on my coffee table.
Probably has pretty high collectible value.
Yeah, who comes up with that idea? Who comes up? Let's get the. Now, what are you gonna have the Janis Joplin bobblehead down next to
I think the thing is once you get past who's the pitcher, Paul Skate, and his girlfriend, there's really nobody there's nobody to make a bobblehead of.
They don't. There's no reason to go to a Pirates game, but that amazed me that they would have a bobblehead.
Yeah, for Mac Miller.
For a rapper who overdosed. I mean, maybe they're celebrating because he's the one rapper who died from non-gunshots. Maybe they think, well, this is great. He died, he wasn't shot. Let's celebrate this guy. This is awesome.
They probably can only do so many like Willie Stargell and Manny Sanguillen and Roberto Clemente bobbleheads. I'm just trying to think of all the old Pirates I know. Omar Moreno, yeah.
But I don't know. Bill Mazeroski.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, he gets a bobblehead.
No,
he's no Mac Miller. He only won a World Series.
I could have seen my father. Yeah, we were giving away a bobblehead, and I go, whose bobblehead is that? The rap guy. He would never mind rock and roll. I wouldn't be allowed to watch baseball anymore.
What was Mac Miller's Knock Knock? Was that his? Didn't the Flyers use it as like a?
Wasn't he dating Ariana Grande? Wasn't he Ariana Grande?
Oh yeah, maybe once upon a time. Yeah.
Well, wasn't he Ariana Grande's girlfriend? Jim, or am I thinking the wrong guy? You're not up on your rap either.
No,
I think he was. Cause she
let's ask 3 50-year-old and 60-year-old guys, who's dating who in the rap community.
Imagine me knowing that, of all people knowing that. Holy cow.
Yeah, no, all I know is Manny Sanguillen.
Mac Miller bobblehead. I can't wait to throw it up there at the Meek Mill bobblehead. That was great.
Hey, my Shires and Pirates, the only person I can think of is Kenta Colby.
Kenta Colby, yeah.
Colby, there you go.
That guy Drew Underhand.
Yeah.
Him and down under Dan Quisenberry. Submarine. Yeah.
Jacoby was unbelievable. He had like a lot of lawn. He could pitch him almost every day because it was different here. Nowadays, the guy can get 4 days off if he's pitching in.
Kenta Colby had a really small head. I used to go to like the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown and look and see like the cap sizes of the different player. Kenta Colby had I wear like a 7.5. I think, Tekulti wore like a 6 3/8 or something.
Wow.
What's wrong with this guy's head?
Wow. Well, he was real thin too.
Yes, he was.
Really thin. So I was reading this week, we were talking about that earlier. There was a guy at a burrito factory who somehow got grinded to death. Fell in the machinery and got grinded to death in a burrito factory.
Where was this?
I forget where exactly it happened.
Old El Paso?
Ortega.
Yeah.
At a burrito factory. And I'm thinking, after this happens, you could be in a hurry to eat a burrito because you might be getting a piece of Juan for a while. You might only just got Juan's elbow in my burrito. I mean, I don't know. Neither his family, they must have broken out the T-shirts and then, and spray paint on the side of the cars. R.I.P. But he got grinded to death. That's. I mean, it's one thing, how'd your dad? Oh, he was in the war, or he was a hero. He grinded to death at a burrito factory.
Yeah, they buried him in a hard shell.
But can you imagine a more embarrassing way to go in a burrito factory? I don't know.
Like a tortilla factory? It's like they were. I don't. I'm hung up on burrito factory.
The way I read it, and I mean, the way the article laid it out was that they were making burritos. Maybe it was. What did you say?
Tortilla.
Maybe that's what it was. But then they said there was some kind of machine.
Yeah.
And he somehow fell in and got grinded to death.
Yeah, because they like grind corn and flour down to to make tortillas.
I'm hoping
that guy got
stuck in an empty kettle.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping he was drunk because to do something like that sober would really be embarrassing. At least if he was drunk, there'd be an explanation for why the guy fell in.
He was a sanitation worker trying to clean it, I guess.
Oh, all right.
The poor guy was probably maybe an illegal, making $5 an hour, and he gets grinded to death in the burrito machine.
What a way to go!
Holy cow!
It's the same old story.
Yeah, it happens every day. And other stuff people watch.
Crunchiness of the shell, you kind of know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, but I'd be a little hesitant to eat burritos for a while. Let somebody else get the remains of pot.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't eat tortillas from that factory.
Yeah, let it go for a while until they can clear out in spirit. Yeah. I hate to have that guy. I hate to have that guy Chico haunt me for it. Yeah, he's inside me.
He'll be celebrated on Day of the Dead.
That really is a shame.
Yeah.
Grinded to death in a burrito factory.
Yeah,
I guess they give. You want to think more embarrassing if I was to drop in right here on the McGonigal podcast? That might be a more embarrassing death. But otherwise, the burrito factory thing.
Well, that would satisfy all the wagers and the Deadpool.
That more than Deadpool getting back to the Deadpool. That absolutely would satisfy the Deadpool people.
40 points.
If I satisfy my neighbors and I'd be going, they'd be happy for that.
They'd miss you, and I'd miss you.
No, I can try it. My neighbors would not miss me for a second. So I was reading where the Philadelphia Parking Authority, they're setting up a snitch website where you can snitch on people who are like illegally parked.
Oh, yeah?
And you're supposed to take pictures and send it to the... You got to be a real creep if you're a snitch for the Philadelphia Parking Authority.
You got to be a creep, but I would have to think that there's a high volume of snitches, I would think, that would be ringing into the PPA.
I guess, but I mean, how much of a non-life do you have? Are you running around trying to get your neighbors in trouble because they parked too close to a fire hydrant, or I mean, come on, really? You're going to do that all day?
They shoot people in South Philly.
Parking spaces, yeah. They do. They do. I haven't seen a good parking space fight in a while, but they do. But I don't know. Just being
I would think this would be the more gentlemanly solution to like snitch on somebody instead of just killing them.
I mean, it's one thing if somebody's a pedophile or something, a drug dealer, and you're telling on your neighbor who, maybe parked illegally for an hour or something. That's who you're going to rat on. That's your life.
If you hate your neighbor, yeah. I'm not endorsing the behavior, but I'm saying, for people who use phones and lawn chairs and things like that to save parking spots, if somebody violates that etiquette, yeah, somebody's gonna rat those people out.
I guess, but I just think, come on, really. I mean, and the thought on the parking authority, they're brutal anyway. The way they treat, why would you want to help them?
Yes,
why would you want to help them?
If you think about it in terms of taking sides with the PPA, that's the worst. That's like internal affairs. It's like the cop that snitches on the other cop, because they rat them out to IA.
I'll tell you what, but if you do something like that and you take a picture of your neighbor in trouble, you're risking, because that neighbor's going to come after you. If you get some kind of $100 ticket or something, you're going to have a window pulled.
Maybe you get a reward. Do you get a reward?
I don't. They didn't say the article I read didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, they're so cheap. I can't imagine them paying.
Yeah, it just said they were encouraging people to do this, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, come on, have a mind your own business.
Yeah, they're just taking money in and not.
Yeah, I see in my day when I see people parking, a lot of parking violations. I can't see me taking a picture and sending it to the PPA.
Yeah, that's right.
And I might shake my head, but
Exactly.
I'm not doing
You're a
that.
busy man. You got shit to do. You can't be bothered.
Yeah, I
with
got
that.
this. I got this very
That's-
stupid
see,
podcast.
there we go, yeah.
For God's sake.
Yeah, the hours of preparation that go
I
into
mean, how
this.
mad would you be, Mike, if your neighbor took a picture and sent it in and said, "Look what Mike did. He probably 3 feet from a fire hydrant or something." I mean,
Only if I took his space after he shoveled it, you know?
that's that I could see legitimately get mad about. But otherwise, I don't know. I mean, helping the parking authority, who were the biggest scumbags anyway. They fuck people constantly.
I'm saying, they write enough tickets already. Why do they need the help of the public?
I was trying to look up if there was a snitch. There's not, or they're not saying there is yet. But according to Reddit, man, people are ready to turn people in. Contractors. I mean, I'm just rolling right through trying to get your answer. I'm just saying, I'm turning this person.
I guess the article I read, it was like they're starting this snitch line. That's amazing to me. Helping those people, helping the parking authority. Like they don't fuck enough people. They need help screwing people over.
It just tells you how many long-standing parking grudges there are.
Well, like you said, they write
There's
enough
no
tickets. They
off-street
should be
parking.
making enough money. You're right that they need to have people snitching.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking parking chief. Stepping up a snitch line.
Didn't they just raise the parking rates in Philadelphia too? Like,
Oh, they might have. I haven't been in. I haven't been in Center City. My neck, where I'm in Northeast Philly, there's a lot of free parking, so that's not a big issue. But
yeah.
maybe in Center City
I think they raised the meter rates.
Well, yeah, of course. I guess they weren't screwing people enough.
There you go.
That Center City is brutal. I don't know how people do it because you can park here for an hour, you can park here, but you can only be here for a certain amount of time. I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know how you navigate that down there. It is brutal. It is brutal. So I was reading about McDonald's. There was a teenage employee, and her boss told her to take the trash out, and she didn't want to take the trash out. So the boss yelled at her. So she went home, and she came back with her mom and another person. And they were going to beat up the boss. So the boss ended up shooting the mother in the leg. So a woman got shot over the teenager not wanting to put the trash out at McDonald's. Well, when you think if you're a McDonald's employee, you got to know one of your main jobs is putting the trash out at the end of the shift. Who wouldn't know that?
Like most kids these days, the family member should have been at that interview.
I guess, but I work jobs where, part of your job is they
Everybody's
get the
had
trash.
Terrible Joe job.
Yeah, but even in the old full-time job I used to work, real job, there was, at the end of the day, you had to make sure the area was clean, but things got thrown away. I mean, that's just part of any job, really. Yeah. You're working at McDonald's and you got to go home and get I could have seen me going home and get my parents after a boss. Some boss was made happy, so I'm going to go get my parents.
That performance review must have been brutal.
But but I mean, you end up
Needs improvement.
You end up getting shot over
Yeah.
your kid was disobeying a boss. Instead of telling your kid to listen to the boss, you can enter and get yourself shot.
As soon as I saw the gun, I would have agreed to not have her take the garbage.
Think the kid tripped the garbage out when they got home.
Yeah, we'll get somebody else to do it.
I got a bullet in my leg because of you. Take out the trash.
You better do those dishes now, Mom took a bullet. That's exactly right. But it's unbelievable the stories you hear from places like McDonald's and Burger King or Waffle House. These places must be the wildest places in the world.
Yeah.
These places are like anarchy, all these places.
How bad could it be? I don't know anybody who eats in the McDonald's anymore. I mean, there can't be that much trash.
Oh yeah. I guess there probably are. Like, there's probably teenagers stuff hanging around.
Yeah, maybe.
I would think.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I don't know anybody.
I can't remember the last time I sat at a
right.
food
But
restaurant.
it's probably younger people
Yeah.
who just want to hang out with their friends. out
Probably
in
a bag full of the plastic trays because I always just like throw the tray in the garbage.
But that's probably what it is. But I mean, who wouldn't know if you're working at McDonald's? You're not going to tell the boss.
Yeah,
No.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that's and then you get shot. Well, that's why you get shot over that $7 your daughter was making an hour at McDonald's.
Well, that's
definitely where you
why
get
they're
shot.
lobbying for 20 because So they have to do terrible things like take the garbage.
At least then if you get shot, it's worth it.
Yes,
Make
that's
it a decent wage.
right.
And why not?
Not if they have insurance.
Why not?
Yeah, it allows the health insurance. I want if you're a McDonald's manager.
Yeah.
Whether it covered bullet holes in your leg.
That's why they need the Obamacare, because you get shot in the leg.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess. So I was reading about over in, I forget what country it was, which shows what good preparation I did. But doesn't matter, this stupid podcast. There was a group of monks, and they started having sex with this woman. And it turns out she was just having sex with these monks so she could blackmail them.
Really?
And I'm thinking, what are you blackmailing a monk for?
Yeah,
what kind of money would they have? There was a whole scandal I was reading about. It was blackmailing monks. This is the worst blackmailer in history. This is she's going to have the monks. What is she going to get the robes off them? The beads? Blackmailing monks, and then they tried to keep it quiet. It turned into a whole shitstorm.
Yeah.
But she's black. You find somebody with money and some rich guy to bang, but she's banging monks and trying to blackmail.
I don't wonder how the sex was.
Well, it was probably quiet because I can't imagine the monks aren't talkers. They aren't dirty talkers. They're just very quiet. Get very quiet, very efficient.
They're probably like,
Oh, there you go. The nice ambiance.
I think the big news is that there's a border of straight monks.
That's even better. That's even better.
Heterosexual monks.
That it was a female. That even makes it.
That kind of goes against type.
Even more of a news story. But I was thinking, when they said blackmail, I was sitting there for, what did she ask the monk for? And I don't know who, they wouldn't have any money when he's trying to get saved. What?
Having a time.
I was going to say Thailand, but what is she trying to get sandals off him? I mean, what is she going to get off a monk?
Maybe they collect a lot of money from. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying it's extorting money.
Yeah.
Extorted money, but how much money can monks have? I mean, they're generating less money than WNBA players. Monks, for God's sake. There's nobody. What kind of money would they have? I mean, do monks like do they even have parishioners who would go in and
I don't know. That's a great question.
Give them a collection plate. I don't even know where she thinks the money would come from.
Yeah. Maybe they sell English muffins or flour or something.
That wasn't the well thought out plan she had. That definitely wasn't a good plan. She's not the type of person you want to be in a foxhole with. She's not coming up with the best ideas, this girl.
I just kind of wonder if they had a retreat and they all found out they were having sex with the same woman.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Who squealed? Because they're not supposed to talk. They're monks. Somebody broke the vow of silence just to squeal. For Christ's sake.
Oh, the phone.
All right, somebody commented a whole new twist to the word missionary.
Yeah. You, Dave Lynch. Bravo.
One live viewer. It's amazing. This thing is available live and on demand. This stupid McGonigal podcast.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Live, and then you can get it anytime on demand. And so if you any time of the day when you're in the mood of stupidity, just hit up your YouTube machine. We're on there. We're on there just being stupid and dumb and talking about monks and the BPA and every other dumb thing. Every other dumb thing there is to talk about. I don't know. I was reading about this. This happened in Maryland. This fire captain parks his personal truck. The fire station's across the street, but he parks his personal truck by a ball field. When these kids are playing baseball, one kid hits a home run, and it hits the fire captain's truck and breaks the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets so mad, he gets the fire truck, comes down, and soaks the ball field to the point where they couldn't play anymore. They had to cancel the game. He was so mad that they broke his windshield on his personal. Now, and then, of course, he's in trouble, but I'm thinking, how cool would that be if you had your own fire truck? You can get revenge on anybody, for anything. You can run around with your fire truck, get revenge on people. This is an angry guy who thinks they're made of little leaguers.
Yeah, I'll say. I'm focusing on the wrong thing, but how about the power of the kid?
That is pretty good. He hit him all out of the park. He probably thought, out of park here. Nobody knows how to
maybe he'll sign for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It's like remember that episode of the Monsters when Herman hit that he hit Leo DeRosa in the head. Leo DeRosa went down. The Herman Munster
Did he also do the same with football? That the football went a long way. Harvard.
Oh, probably. I'm sure the writers weren't coming up with that
It was a
clever idea.
yeah.
They were going to keep repeating themselves. The Munsters didn't have the best writers. Yeah, they would recycle gags. I can imagine. They didn't actually have Woody Allen and Mel Brooks writing for them.
No.
But imagine you owned your own personal fire truck. Imagine your ex-girlfriends and anybody who screwed you over, you're soaking things down.
Were the kids still playing when he showed up with the fire truck and wrecked the field?
I believe so. Of course,
Wow.
They started and soaked the whole field and they couldn't play.
Yeah. I don't want to be a baseball player when I grow up. I want to be a fire.
Oh, yeah.
So-
He probably got some recruits.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if I'm this baseball, let's sign up for the fire department.
Exactly. I'm never going to make it in sports. I'm going to get a fire truck and freaking, wreak havoc on my enemies.
Oh, that must have been an awesome feeling of power. I'm going to take drive the fire truck down the street and get these fuckers.
Terrific.
Get these fucking teenage fuckers that one sucked though.
It happened during a game.
Wait,
During the
again, you went down and soaked the field. Imagine if you had a nice new
Out of the Kansas.
Yeah, if you had a nice new pickup and that happened, you would be pissed. But I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to go about rectifying the situation.
Yeah.
By taking your father.
The guy's probably a municipal employee, and he wrecks a public field.
Yeah, he's definitely a municipal employee. I'm sure he's not a captain anymore. He's probably taking the trash out of the firehouse now. He's in charge. God knows what his job is now.
Tell this guy about safe flight so he doesn't get so upset next time.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
being a fireman? Holy cow! Firemen, you think they're out there serving the public and
Yeah, no, I'm going to use the truck and I've got a red blue leaf.
Of course, I've known some crazy firemen. That actually doesn't surprise me. Now I think I've known some pretty off the wall firemen.
I don't think I've ever met a fireman. I only associate them with like chicken barbecues and hanging out in front of.
Right, I've known a few pretty crazy firemen. Now that I think about it, so actually, it really doesn't surprise me that much.
I should say they're courageous civil servants.
Oh, they are. They run into a fire, but then again, if you're running into a fire, maybe you do have a screw loose. Maybe that's part of the reason.
Maybe.
You're not the most stable person to start with. You run into a fire. So coming out this week, Donald Trump wants to bring back Redskins and Indians. Wants to bring back Washington Redskins and Cleveland Indians. And I was thinking that he likes the old days. You know who else wants to bring the old days back? The American Indians themselves. They really want to bring back the old days. So they're on the same page with Trump. They want to bring back the old days too. They want to go way back. I'm surprised they didn't cut a deal with Trump. We'll go back to Redskins and you go back to one of your previous wives.
Yeah.
That way, but imagine how funny that is. That Trump thinks he has that kind of power. He's not going to bring back the Redskins.
Wasn't the worry that he's going to withhold money for a Washington D.C. stadium for the Commanders?
Something like that.
If they did reconsider the name change.
And it's a good thing now that Montreal's cooperating with the terrorists, he might want to bring Montreal Expos back next. And he Quebec Nordiques. You don't know what he might want to bring back. He's bringing back all these names. The Cleveland Browns will be coming back soon. I don't know who's coming back. Let's see if we can get him to bring back the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets.
Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. Wow, they were like an original NFL team.
Yes, they were. They
Okay.
filled up as original NFL, and they played at old Frankfurt Stadium, which I believe that this isn't having a gym, was at the corner of Frankfurt and Deadville, right?
There's a Burger King there now.
The Burger King, right? The Frankfurt and
Washington.
when you drive by there, you think to yourself, the NFL played here? Yeah, it's right. It's where they had the Burger King and the Valvoline place. Yeah, it's amazing. You just think to yourself, the NFL was here, right there in Northeast Philly.
Is there even one of those historic markers?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But they eventually went bankrupt.
Really?
They folded.
Imagine an NFL team going bankrupt.
Yeah, that's how long. Like this is in the 1920s,
Mm-hmm.
and then for a few years there was no NFL team in Philadelphia. Then the Eagles started in '33.
Mm-hmm.
But they were the original. Some people think the Eagles just changed their name, like they just changed their name.
Yeah.
Eagles, no, it's a whole different franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they. But the other thing is though, have you ever driven past 21st and Lehigh, which is where Connie Mack Stadium used to be when the Phillies played? And if you ever drove by them, you think to yourself, Major League Baseball played here? It's in North Philly.
Yeah.
And you'd say, what?
Yeah.
And Major League Baseball.
Like Philadelphia Athletics is like
Well, the Phillies played there, but also they both played next
they shared the stadium.
They share the
All right.
stadium, and it's you can look around and go, wait, Major League Baseball was here. It's so you know where 21st and Lehigh is. Yeah, yeah. It's holy shit. So a lot has changed over the decades in Philadelphia. But yeah, maybe who knows what Trump can bring back next? He's bringing back all these names.
Yeah,
Who knows what he might bring back?
Hopefully, Pop Rocks. I'd like that. I'd like him to bring back Pop Rocks.
I heard he's going to make Kareem Abdul-Jabbar become Lou Alcindor again. He just said, "Look, this is we're not going to have this. We're not."
And he's got to go back to the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's right. He's got to go back to the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Lou Alcindor. And how many young people don't even realize that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for the Milwaukee Bucks? Won a championship for the Milwaukee. People don't even know that.
Right. Yeah.
They act like he was always a Laker. They don't even know that
He was a John Wooden UCLA.
Oh yeah, three national championships.
Yeah.
And in his high school career, I don't know if he played 3 or 4 years with his high school varsity. His team lost one game total the whole time. It was at one of the New York public high schools. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he was
Must
like,
have had a flu.
and then when he signed with UCLA, the New York media was furious because they expected him to stay in New York, and he's going all the way out to UCLA, and it was a whole big thing. Which same thing happened in Philadelphia though, when Wilt decided to leave Philadelphia and play Kansas, and it was a whole thing, not play one of the Big Five schools. That was a whole firestorm too. Mm-hmm. But we're actually getting to the serious subjects, and this stupid podcast is not for that.
Yeah, let's dial it back.
It's not for.
That's next week.
Trump said he wanted Martin Sheen to go back to being Ramon Estevez too.
Yeah.
He's going to go back to original. And how empty is my life? I actually know what Martin Sheen's real name is. That's how empty my life is. I have a
wants Elton John to go back to Reginald
Dwight. Yeah. Helmut Costello has to go back to
McMahon.
Bono has to be Paul Houston.
Yes.
Sting has to be Gordon Sumner. They're going all back.
Everybody's going.
And Ringo, I'm sorry, you're Richard Starkey again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yay.
Did you guys happen to see they had the premiere? They made a new version of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt was out on the red carpet. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
She doesn't really look like Jennifer Love Hewitt anymore. She looks like, my comment when they showed a picture of her was that she looks like she's been eating for a party of 5. I mean, it was. I thought she was hiding one of the child actors under the back of her dress. I thought, but I don't know. I know a lot of people that it was a whole firestorm went off on her social media about how she doesn't look like Jennifer Love Hewitt anymore from the 90s.
She was it.
She was gorgeous. What's her name was there? Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay. Yeah.
She still pretty much looks like Buffy. She still looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. But Jennifer Love Hewitt, I don't know.
I'll be darned. I can't body shame Jennifer Love Hewitt.
But I thought
Pass.
When I saw the picture, I said, "Is Rosie O'Donnell with this premiere? What is she doing?" But it turned out that it wasn't.
She's so old now that it should be. I forgot what you did last summer.
Yeah, there she is. That looked like
okay. All right.
We all exaggerated with comedic effect for that.
She's curvier.
Yeah, she's curvier.
It's fine.
What's that?
I would.
Oh, I would too, as desperate as I am.
That's a Philly 10.
Yeah, that is. That's a Kennington 15. No question about that. Yeah. I mean, she's had 3 kids. So I guess I was being mean, but it just seemed like a good line.
Love the dress and the hair and the shoes. To class act all the way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was probably being mean, but then when you sit in your mom's basement,
it's your show.
So when you sit in your mom's basement, meanness comes out. I've always said I can't be canceled because I've never been activated. You can't cancel somebody who doesn't have anything. So
just stay away from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I could imagine. That would be awesome. If I get arrested in the middle of a McGonigal podcast, if somebody get that kind of publicity, that would be awesome. That would be, there's some crime. But I'm so boring, I don't commit the crime.
I know. I'm not doing much for your ratings either, by the way.
No, believe me. You sit next to me. You've driven the sex appeal on 50%. Trust me. There's probably a lot of homosexual guys out there going, "Ooh, these Chris's on. That's cool. That's awesome." That's awesome.
Silver fox.
There you go. And then it goes to the Chrome Dome.
Yeah, get pulling in that gay demographic.
I got a haircut a couple of weeks ago. This Asian girl, and I sit in a chair, and she said, "Do you want number one or number two?" I said, "What the hell does that mean?" She said, "Number one shorter." I said, "Okay, give me number one." And she just didn't you get the scissors, just the razor?
Yeah, the clipper. Yeah.
Oh my God. And normally when an Asian girl offers me options, I get excited. But this was a little different. But
I get a number two clipper on the side when I get my hair.
But she just, I wasn't in the chair 5 minutes. All done, $10.
All right, not bad.
So do I get a discount for senior? I mean, she did do no discount for senior.
No.
No. So you guys in the pickleball? I see pickleball's taking over.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, there you go.
Thank Father. There you go.
Oh, no, you know what? I didn't even look at your shirt. That's funny. I had it written down and didn't even look at your shirt. That's fine. So what is the big appeal? Somebody has to explain to me pickleball. To me, it's old guys trying to bang widows. That's what pickleball is to me. It's desperate guys trying to buy multiple widows. That's the whole set, the whole scam. What is it though?
Down in Florida, that's definitely the case. Hey, you don't have to run sprints all the time. It's fast play. You could take 2 steps. If you miss, you keep going. It's not like in tennis where you have to run back and forth all the time to try to keep up.
I know people. I was reading an article where they were saying that doctors, like orthopedic doctors, are making a bundle on these old people getting hurt with their knees and everything, getting hurt out there. And there's nothing making a bundle off of this. Have you seen people getting hurt out there? I mean, I can imagine somebody's 60 years old and hasn't done the exercise in years, tries to go out there and all of a sudden.
I've seen a 30-year-old blow out his knee.
30-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow, that's embarrassing. At least you're 60, it looks better 30. Holy mackerel.
You're long beyond high school. Get over it. I'm just.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I'm a type of guy. On the first day, I'd like you heard something. I'd hear something bad. I guarantee it.
I mean, I played with Michael once, and it's fun enough.
And there were no widows you guys were banging?
No,
I swear, it's let's get the widow pussy. That's the whole first time I saw pickleball, I said, "Oh, this guy's trying to bang these weak, vulnerable widows getting banged." That's all this is. This has to be this.
It's skewing younger and younger.
Really?
Honest to God, there's a park near where we both live, and there's 6 new pickleball courts there. They're always busy, and there are a lot of younger people playing the game.
Wow. See,
I'm not a player, but
I can't. That has to be something in the suburbs. There has to be something in the suburbs, right? Because in the city, I can't. Are there any pickleball courts actually in the city? I can't imagine. But that doesn't seem like an urban game. That doesn't seem like a game of urban people.
That's
urban kids.
That's a fair assessment.
I would think that's a suburban thing. I
don't think they're going to change. I don't know. Do they have tennis courts in the city?
Well, not far from me. There's tennis courts there. Now, whether people still use them or not.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have nets up there. There were tennis courts. They're still there. The area is still there. I don't know that they have nets up. Mm-hmm. People take their dogs down, and dogs just run around and play with the tennis court. But I remember it was a big thing back in the 80s when it was Taccone Park, Russo Park. You know when that is, right? Jim Russo Park there in Robert Avenue. And when they built this part of in the circle, but it's a big park, and this is tennis courts. So, they put in tennis courts,
Yeah.
We growing up, we had no baseball fields and basketball, but so it was a big thing. And for a while, people were down there playing, but I don't even know if that goes on anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just people buying coke, buying meth. place to buy meth. Where the old tennis court. Maybe where the old tennis courts used to be. I'll get your pills for you. I figured it was an old guy scam.
It's. I mean, there are a lot of older people playing, but younger people too.
Younger people definitely playing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If you've ever played ping pong table tennis,
right.
It's think of it like an extension of that. So you get to slam the ball and can get some.
But there's no injuries in table tennis. Wow, when I read about the orthopedics, I was laughing. Yeah, good, because doctors don't make enough money. They don't get enough good. Thank God we get another reason to Now, here's another thing I don't understand that I had to ask people about. You guys drink iced coffee? You guys drink iced coffee?
Not much.
You an iced coffee guy? Or
Very rarely.
are you guys even regular coffee?
Oh, I'm a big coffee
Yeah.
drinker.
I don't get how iced coffee could. Because when I was a kid, if you would say you go to a store and buy iced coffee, people would have looked at you like you were, you were out of your mind. What you're buying? What?
Mhm.
It's another thing my father would have thrown an empty beer can in my head for. So iced coffee. I mean, people. I don't know where that came from. How could it possibly gotten popular? I don't. Couldn't you just get a regular coffee and let it go cold and then drink that? I mean, and isn't that the same thing?
I think it's more like a jacked up sugar caffeine drink now. I know. Don't think of it as like a cup of coffee that's cold. Think of it as like a cup of coffee that's jacked up with whipped cream, sugar, flaky, and a bunch of other stuff.
That's this whole coffee revolution in this country. It used to be, and here I go, back in my day, I'm always doing press partners, stupidity, and podcasts. People just had coffee. There was no going out and having your favorite coffee place.
Yeah.
Like you never would have saw a guy walking down the street with those holders, 3 or 4 coffee. Never. You would have thought the guy was some kind of nut.
Yeah.
People just had coffee in their house. Your parents, they had their coffee and they went to work. There was no such thing as, let's go down that's my coffee spot. No, there's no coffee spots.
No.
That coffee at your kitchen table.
Yeah.
No coffee
And
spots.
at a restaurant and nowhere else.
Yeah, there was now coffee is a big thing that people plan out. Oh, I like that place better. Oh, I like when they put the Frappuccino, Cappuccino. None of this was.
Yeah, I think Starbucks kind of realized that people had extra money and with like
That guy, Howard Schultz, was that his name? The guy,
Yeah.
that guy was some kind of genius to figure out that people would pay this guy and be this crazy for coffee because nobody would have predicted that. He's the only guy that saw that.
Mhm.
He's like the Galileo. Galileo was dumb or something. But nobody would have thought that you could get rich off of coffee because everybody had coffee. How you gonna get rich off it? You got it in your house, but this guy figured it out.
Yeah, he actually cared about being good for a while.
Yeah,
I think that might have been it.
No, but you could.
And Dunkin' took a swing, but their stuff is cheap.
Good thing about Dunkin' Donuts is they're willing to open anywhere. Like Starbucks, there's certain areas they won't open at.
Oh, yeah.
Zip codes, the red line. Dunkin' Donuts, they don't care.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they just opened one. They just opened one in Gaza Strip.
Yeah,
There's 2 new Dunkin' Donuts opening.
there's one over there.
There's opening in Ukraine this week. They're opening up. 2 new ones. They're going. North Korea's got a whole Dunkin' Donut franchise. They'll open it. They don't care. I always said if you're looking for a Dunkin' Donuts, just look for the yellow crime scene. It's right next door. But they don't care. They'll open anywhere. So it came out this week that the CBS is pulling the plug on the Late Show. It's the Late Show. And that network TV is dying anyway. Network TV is just dying.
It is dying. I don't buy the rationale that they're not making money though.
Well, I mean, the reports are 40 million. Well, supposedly it's pretty expensive. I read something today, which I found hard to believe, that it costs $2 million an episode to produce.
Really?
Which when you look, how could it possibly cost $2? You look, it's just 2 people sitting at a desk.
Yep.
He had a staff of 200.
200, yeah, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
But network TV.
Who took out the cart?
A former McDonald's employee.
Prime time is dying. So the late
Yes.
nobody. I mean, Conan O'Brien, when he shut his show down 4 years ago, he said podcasts have made late night comedy irrelevant because you can find your favorite comedian on a podcast. And you don't need to wait till 11:30 at night. And he was running this is 4 years ago. He said this. So, and if it really is $2 million an episode, I don't know. That's what the one article. It might not be accurate. Then how are they not? I can't imagine they wouldn't get rid of it. That's absurd. Why would you do for the low ratings? I don't. So, and they're saying it's political. They'll probably speed it up, but it's going to go away anyway.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, although I did read that, I don't know how credible this is, that like the Gutfeld show pulls more money than pulls more viewership than Colbert and Kimmel and Fallon.
I think that from what I read, there were certain nights where he does. It's not it's not every night.
Consistent night in, night out thing.
But it's certain nights he does better than that, and he doesn't. But I also read that
cable network.
I also read that Godfather is a very low budget. It's not a very expensive, which you would think if you look at it. Yeah, it doesn't look like an expensive show. Yeah, but So I don't know how that can possibly cost $2 million an episode.
Yeah. I'm not advocating for one over the other.
No. If you look at the Steve McGonigal, how could that possibly cost $2 million a year? $2 million an episode. It doesn't look like there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just two people with an asking. I don't know, but
do they pay guests to appear?
Yeah, but it's like you whatever SAG minimum is.
Yeah, okay.
You have to
$500.
Yeah, you have to get something. Yeah, something like that. And it's more if you're a performer, if you're a comedian, and you actually perform. It's a little more. The SAG minimum is higher, but it's nothing.
Okay.
So I guess the staff is getting. Of course, Colbert gets paid.
Yep.
But Kimmel's going to go, and Seth Meyers are going to get rid of them next.
Yeah.
It's a possibility NBC could keep the Tonight Show just because it's, I think, 1956. I think the Tonight Show premiered.
Yeah.
With Steve Allen, the original. So maybe out of tradition they would keep it. But those shows, if they're that expensive, and
I don't know how accurate.
is that the viewing?
This is from the Daily Mail. I don't even know who that is.
Oh, okay.
That Gutfeld? Yeah.
Showbuzz Dallas.
So,
Okay.
but from what I understand, I mean, that I thought there wasn't night in, night. It was depending on the night, you know what I mean? Depending, which is possible.
Yeah.
But 2 million people, if that's true, Gutfeld. I mean, Carson was getting in his prime probably like 10 million people or something back with it.
Yeah, there were 10 channels.
Right. I mean, so why would they keep producing? Why would they keep spending that kind of money for when and nobody watches network television anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And literally, that's why if you look at prime time, how many reality shows and game shows, because they don't want to pay for the old sitcoms,
right?
Because there's no point to it. Nobody watches that. They watch streaming. It's sort of
enough though. The one you said would stay is the one that's in last place.
Yeah, I just said, I'm saying possibly out of tradition, they might keep it. You know, the Tonight Show, like they had the Tonight Show, the Today Show, the NBC might. They might not either. They could give it all up. I'm just saying, I thought there might have been a possibility, but who knows?
But there's also stuff going on outside of just watching at 11:30 at night that needs to be considered. So many people were watching Fallon's content outside of that window.
Yeah, on YouTube. Sure, of course.
And I was over in New York City earlier this year. My wife and I went into the NBC building. There was a huge line of people still looking to go try and get tickets to go see Fallon.
Oh, I bet.
So, you know, like that whole experience, he's definitely got the fan base for it.
Yeah, I guess that they make some money on YouTube with ads when they put their content on YouTube. Yeah. I guess they make some of that money. I don't know, but it's just the network. It's sort of like when movie theaters came along and they killed vaudeville. You know, it's the same thing. Streaming is killing network television, and audio streaming is killing radio, which is just sort of the next evolution. You know, and we almost did an hour. Went by pretty quick. Real quick, I did want to finish. I don't even know where the last wants to get to it. 2 weeks ago, we had the CEO who was caught with his HR manager at the Coldplay concert. Yeah. Everybody heard about that, right? Mm-hmm. I've always said it. If you go to see Coldplay, you deserve any bad thing that can happen to you. You're paying for Coldplay. I have no sympathy when anything bad happened to you. You're actually paying for Coldplay tickets. I don't. But how stupid was this guy? Instead of taking your girlfriend to a motel or some out of the way place, he takes you to a stadium where there's all these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I always said though that those kiss cams had to be wrecking marriages. This can't be the first time at like a baseball game or something. Somebody get caught on a kiss cam. Oh, yeah. Maybe this is the most famous, but it can't be the first time. This has had to have happened before. That kiss cam is dangerous.
I'll tell you what's wrecking marriages, too. Kiss cams and pickleball.
And pickleball. Well, it's actually, though, I think it's widows who get back. I think the husband's already dead.
I don't know. Somebody's marriage is getting wrecked for pickleball.
I always said I thought it was a divorce lawyer who created the kiss cam in the first place. I think he came up with the idea. I thought it was a divorce lawyer who came on.
It's funny. He resigned, but then the HR woman.
She eventually did.
She eventually did, yeah.
Well, you would think HR of all things, which is supposed to be lecturing people about this kind of thing. Yeah. She's the one doing it. Right. That's the funniest thing. Everybody's a hypocrite, the whole country, especially me. I'm the most. I criticize Colbert and look at the stupid show I'm doing, for Christ's sakes. So, listen, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Mike, especially the last minute, I really appreciate you bearing me out for this. You guys, great. Maybe we'll do it again. You can see how you guys can drive together. It'd be great to do it again sometime. If you guys wouldn't mind it. If you didn't get enough of stupidity tonight,
I did what I could.
No, this was great. I always enjoy people help me be stupid 1 hour on the YouTube. I appreciate that. I want to thank Mike Glad. You guys got anything to plug? Anything? You got anything to plug? Any gigs?
I could-
Yeah,
I don't know if you
comedy plots at Music Fest in Bethlehem. Saturday, I think it's August 9th.
Nice.
so,
Comedy Plats in Bethlehem.
Yeah,
Nice.
at Music Fest.
At Music Fest. Check Chris. You know who else is going to show, or you positive?
Some other local,
Cool.
Philly comics.
Nice. And a bonus, I won't be there, so you won't have to surprise me. You see Chris Dolan, who's a
The
great.
show is lesser for you're not having.
You see a great comedy. I don't have any gigs for a while, but keep an eye on my. I did a show last night, but it's too late to plug it. But I appreciate Mike. Thanks for coming out, Michael Lancer, Chris Dolan. Thanks for Jim Corhan. We leaned on him a lot tonight. He's awesome. He's responsible for everything here, folks. Please, again, like, subscribe, share, spread the stupidity. See you in the next time episode. Thanks a lot, folks.
It's America's stupidest podcast. Think NPR for dummies. This is the McGonigal Podcast.